Ready, hunt!
Thank you, Michael. Welcome, everybody. Like always here, going back, reviewing our game with Texas over the past weekend. It's just really should compliment the players for playing and working so well through the week and playing so well on Saturday. They really, I thought, just played outstanding and really in every part of the game. The way we played, I think both lines of scrimmage I thought was a major factor. It always is in games like that. And I thought our first with our offensive line, I thought did an outstanding job when you rush for 343 and protect and throw the ball for 334 and only have one sack on the day. And they just did an outstanding job running the football, picking up what they were doing, blocking, protecting. Really special guys like Lane Johnson, Darrell Williams, Gabe Eichert up there really just played outstanding. And then Trey Millard has had a huge day like he usually does, blocking, running with the football, catching the football, running after the catch, just all the things Trey does. Great special team player, had a huge day. Damian Williams, again, really special in running the football, tough physical runner, got extra yards. And then Landry Jones becoming the all-time, winning as starting quarterback here says a lot, and just had another great game in how he played and delivered the ball. Receivers caught it well, and I just thought the execution was really, really good. Defensively was equally outstanding in that, if you think about it, our one defense that doesn't surrender a point the entire game. I think when they left the field, they had only given up 139 total yards when they left with about 4.5 minutes to go in the game. And then our backups, had out there learning how to play, just, gave up a couple late. But, they just played great. I mean, our run defense was incredible. I thought our line of scrimmage, again, our guys up front, Jamarcus McFarland, Casey Walker, David King, R.J. Washington, Chuka Ndule, those guys I thought just played outstanding and how physical they were, getting off blocks, tackling. And then the guys around them, Tom Wirt had a huge day, Tony Jefferson. Aaron Colvin, again, was outstanding, covering and supporting the run, everything. Special guy had a huge play, Jaden Bird, who, when they went in their heavy extra lineman set on the goal line, we put Jaden in there, put his hand down on the ground, and he comes through he fights off the tackle, runs through the fullback, and makes the safety. Just a great play by Jaden Bird. And those guys, again, just played so well. Run and then pass defense, getting pressure. I thought we had a lot of good pressure through the day. And, and really, didn't give them any big plays and just really played great disciplined defense. Special teams, Michael Honeycutt, I thought was outstanding, had 5 touchbacks, made all his field goals. I thought our kickoff return and punt return units were fantastic. We got a bunch of yards in those. And Tress Way dropping the ball inside the one, punting was a big play in the game for us too in that first half. So anyway, we're on to Kansas here this week, and it'll be good to be back home after being gone for a few weeks. And it's only our 6th game, so I keep saying that, but it's the truth. We've still got a long way to go. I still feel we've got a high ceiling that we've got to keep pushing to make improvement, and hopefully now, when you're playing week to week, hopefully we can get in a rhythm of doing that. We're going to need to do that. So that's what we'll focus on here this week with Kansas coming.
You've been pretty emphatic the last couple of years that Millard's been one of your best players. Against Kansas State, he was only in on, I think, 7 snaps. Did you go to your staff?
No, I haven't changed anything with the staff. We're very aware of what our players can do. And again, there's overall some rhythm issues, not picking up third downs in that game here or there. Just we didn't have as many snaps. When you stay on the field for 90 snaps, you get a chance to get more snaps to everybody.
Bob, could you talk about the last two games in the defensive line? They're moving the line of scrimmage better than they did, it looks like to me, than the first three.
I don't agree with that. I think they were equally good against Kansas State. And we didn't play our defense in the first two games.
So what do you think?
We were hiding our defense in the first couple of games.
So could you talk about their improvement?
They're playing great. They're physical. They're tough. They've got maturity. Those guys are, I've talked about them, I said, coming into the year. You know, there's a bunch of, those guys have played a bunch of football. David King, Casey Walker, Jamarcus McFarland, R.J. Washington, and Chuka has come along through the spring and is a guy that is a starter, you know, in our eyes. And those guys are just, you know, they're playing like they're capable of, and it's not surprising to us. And I think they're going to continue to do well.
You guys have said before that you recruited Blake Bell because of his passing. Did you have any indication that he would turn out to be this kind of runner who just runs over people on a weekly basis?
Well, yeah, we did. We knew how big and strong he was when we recruited him. And he was a good athlete in high school. So, you know, sure, we felt, you know, he'd be able to, you know, do this to a degree. But, I mean, we always recruit our quarterback first by how you know, by being able to throw the football. And then when you can do some of that with it, you know, it gives you a little extra dimension.
What does Jalen Saunders bring to the table?
He's a very quick, shifty receiver. He's got great hands, a great knack for that slot position. You know, he can run. He's got all those things. He just doesn't. He's not a huge guy, but that doesn't matter. Ryan Broyles wasn't either. But he's gonna. You saw he's gonna bring a lot to what we're doing.
How would you grade his performance based on his understanding of the offense on Saturday?
An A.
Bob, is it harder for a team to handle prosperity than it is adversity? To not let their guard down, to let people tell them that they're better than they might be?
I don't know. I guess it all depends on the team or the person. In the end, it shouldn't. You know, hopefully, when you have a mature team, they understand what they're doing correct. They understand what they're not doing as well as they should, regardless of what anyone else says about them. And hopefully our guys will do that and continue to improve the areas we feel we can, and you know, and keep pushing for more. You know, again, the mature teams do that.
Is that something you find out about this team now that maybe you couldn't
Sure.
before?
You know, probably to some degree, you know, but we'll see. And I anticipate they'll come to work like they have all spring and all year so far.
You've been asked a lot about Mike's return since really spring, and the things that he brings to the team and the things that he brings to the defense. Did we see that the last 2 weeks at Texas Tech and against Texas, the intensity and attention to detail and all that?
I believe we did, and again, and I believe we played pretty well against Kansas State also, a team that's averaging a heck of a. We gave them 17 points on defense, and not a lot of people are keeping them lower than that. So we are very conscientious in being, you know, of being disciplined in how we play, playing technique, being physical, not beating ourselves by making mistakes, and being fundamentally sound. And we have been. So hopefully that'll, you know, just keep. Hopefully we can continue with it. You know, you look at. You know, just look at the last couple of weeks, I think, and the defense is only surrendered a touchdown and to both those teams. So that's pretty strong when you look at what they've been doing in other games.
Does his coaching style manifest equally on game day as it does in practice, or is he more of a practice coach or a game day coach, sideline coach? Or?
I think all us coaches do both.
Bob Jamarcus said he thought just as a team they were a lot better at policing themselves this year as far as what they expected of themselves. Have you seen that?
Well, it's been, you know, so far through the year, we have been a more disciplined team, more accountable team to each other and guys, and in a lot of ways off the field, or in the locker room, as you know, as well as on the field. So it to me, you can't be undisciplined off the field and think you're going to be on the field. So hopefully it'll continue. We have been more accountable that way.
Bob, we got to see you hand out a lot of game balls after the Texas Tech game. How did Texas go, and can you name a few people who got them?
I didn't have enough for this weekend, so I was looking for some. But truthfully, we had some guys with, it's hard, we gave basically like player of the game. We do it in our locker room, every week, or we have 1 or 2 or 3. And I gave the whole defense was player of the game, for defense, and the whole offense was for offense. You don't rush for or have 677 or whatever it is without, and they all did things like Damian Williams' great long run. Well, look at Kenny Stills hustling and Justin Brown blocking downfield, or Justin Brown blocking for Trey off after he catches a short pass and is going down the sideline. So, that's how it all kind of works together. So, anyway, all the guys with the big plays are recognized, but really it was a team deal.
Bob, can you talk about Josh and Jay, what they've done on offense? You don't have a tight end presence this year, but with Ripkowski and Bird and Miller, they've allowed you to do a lot of things in the run game.
Yeah, Aaron Ripkowski, Jaden Bird do a great job with Trey Millard up there blocking. Brandon Green has come in some, and when he is, Brandon's really doing well. So those guys, we're doing our best to manage those guys and get them in good situations, and they have been effective in helping us run, helping us play action pass, helping us protect. Those things all kind of add up.
Does that go back to even 2-a-day practices, fall camp with Bird, or did it become a bigger factor?
No, Jaden's, last year when he got in there in those sets, did a great job finding, and you forget he was a 2,000-yard rusher in high school, so he gets it, over there. And Jaden, even with his linebacker eyes, he knows where he needs to be and what backer he needs to get to. Jaden does a good job with it. He's nimble in there, and then he's physical when he gets to his block.
Do you think that helps him defensively, like on the safety? I mean, that he understands run concepts a little bit better maybe than other linebackers?
Yeah, I don't know. He kind of had his hand on it now. You could see him. He was just waiting for that ball to move, and he was going. It's a great play to watch. It's fun to see him go in and do that.
Texas released a lot of injuries yesterday. It was pretty extensive. Was that a product of how hard your guys were hitting on both sides of the ball?
I don't know, because I don't know what their injuries were, to be honest with you. So I don't know how to answer that.
Well,
but
how physical were you guys on both? I mean, there were a lot of hard hits out there.
Well,
you guys were flying around.
I felt like we were, but again, how that equated to injuries. Of course, we're never trying to hurt anybody, but I like the last. I think it's our last kickoff return. Trey just has a great block on a guy coming. Tries to run him over, and he just. Laid into him, but so I don't know, I don't know about his wrist, their quarterback's wrist, how that'll be or how it happened to be. I mean, I saw us hitting him, but I don't know, how it'll be.
You guys keep a tally of hard hits and stuff like that, don't you, in the locker room or whatever?
Not really.
Yeah. That's about the hardest hitting performance I think I've seen you guys have since like Curtis Lofton was here and guys like that.
I don't know how to measure.
Charlie Weiss said earlier today that you guys aren't trying to trick people. You're just lining up, getting after it, and that there's no mystery to it. Is that different than last year?
Not really. We've never had the philosophy to blitz and stunt into stopping the run or being a great defense. We're just doing it better overall, obviously, and we are more simple, so there's less chance to blow it ourselves, and we haven't had those issues. So in that way, it's different. But again, as far as philosophy goes, it's never been our philosophy to be trick or to stunt to be really good.
Why is your defensive secondary so much better this year than it was a year ago?
Again, what we're asking them to do, they're playing technique better, fundamentals better. We're not screwing it up ourselves by having a mental error. And and they're definitely playing at a much higher level.
Bob, after the game, Tony Jefferson said that he feels really comfortable now at the safety position. He's a leading tackler again on Saturday.
And again, don't misread. It's a lot of the way we're playing allows for D linemen and safeties to have more tackles because we're flattening things out, taking away a lot of inside seams that push things out to them.
Can you talk about the level he's playing at?
Tony's playing great, tackling well, had a great day out there again Saturday. Just really tackling well, covering well, communicating, making sure everyone's on the same page with the other guys, so it's been positive.
Coach, you guys are averaging 6 yards a rush as a team. Can you talk about the job collectively those running backs are doing this year? Well,
let's give the credit first to the guys up front that are creating space for them, because if they weren't averaging that, that's what your question would be. So they're blocking really well. They're picking up stunts well that create seams, and staying on their feet, finishing blocks. All the different movements they were doing, we were seeing it, passing it off, and they did a great job. Now, guys like, and Damian running the football, very physical, great balance. Trey Millard, same thing when he's running it. And then it was great to see Dom Whaley and Brennan Clay both got in there and had nice runs, found the space they were looking for, and so they all did a good job.
Anything new on Stacey McGee?
No.
Casey Walker is back in your defensive line, showed up well the last 2 weeks. Talk about how he's coming back has helped the defensive line.
Well, Casey's another one of those seniors that has played a lot of football for us, so he's been very physical, active, had another really good day Saturday.
How did Franklin Shannon play?
Frank played really well. Really pleased with everything that Frank's doing too, and had a good game.
David King said after the game that he credited a lot of the success in the last couple of weeks on defensive guys getting in the film room more and between classes, early mornings. Is that something you've seen, a renewed emphasis on those guys to study a little bit?
I don't always see all of that. We're in our meetings or watching tapes, so who comes and goes during the day, I don't always pick up, so it's hard. So I can't really say that I've seen that. What I have seen is guys know what's coming or what to expect better. So that means they are, whether it's in the film or in practice, you see it in practice enough. This formation, this group of players this is what I expect. And that way, when they do it, hopefully you're in better position to handle it and play it.
What's the level of expectation that you have for that sort of thing? Because as it's described, it's voluntary.
Well, I don't, again, some, plans are more difficult than others. Whatever you have to do, you're the one that's going to be playing Saturday. You would want to go out there and represent yourself well. So if you don't really get it yet on Tuesday or Wednesday, you better do something to figure it out. So I do have a high expectation that they would expect that of themselves. And to me, it's things that you work all week in practice that happen on the field. If you're not ready for them, it's inexcusable, to not. Now, you may still be beat on it, if a guy out jumps you for a ball or this, that, or the other, but to mentally not be prepared for it, to me, that's on the player when it's something that you've worked and been prepared for. And they need to, get it done in those cases.
People always talked about Josh being one of those guys when he was here playing Heupel, a guy that spent a lot of time in the film room, but I'd heard that Roy Williams was kind of that same way as a defensive guy, wasn't he?
It sure looked that way when you watched him play. He always knew what was coming, or he'd always be where he needed to be. He'd be 2 and 3 places sometimes. He was pretty special.
How impressive is it that your offensive line is playing so well, despite having all those injuries at the beginning of the season, and some guys are even banged up now?
Yeah, and they were tired. They don't have as many guys to rotate with now, so they really sucked it up. And I thought they were awesome. Saturday and continue to. And I still think they're going to keep improving. Without Neela now, they're just down another guy. So we have to rotate a tackle and at guard on occasion. So, it was really exciting to see the second team line go in and take a drive all the way down and score. That was really pleasing to see when you got a true freshman, Ty Darlington, in there and a bunch of other guys, Nathan Hughes, who came over from defensive ends, playing tackle now, and really is up to 280 now and is doing well. So those guys all came in and did a nice job. Heck, on the first jumbo or our short yardage, we had Woody in there, Austin Woods, and Derek Forniak in there when we convert the first one and pick up 6 or 7 yards.
It's almost like you were so short in the offensive line, you didn't know who.
Well, that's what it was. And Tyrus had to leave. He was playing guard because of the face mask. he got it shoved off, and they made him leave. They didn't see him, because his helmet came off, he had to leave, and that made it even worse. So we figured it out after a timeout or so, and then it worked, and we got, to me, it was a big part of the drive. It was worth the timeouts as we ended up punching it in for the score.
So when everybody was shuffling in and out, that was a face mask. It wasn't like a numbers, a guy was wearing a certain number.
No, it was, his helmet came off, so he had to leave. And they didn't see that, whether he's, he said he had it shoved off. I don't know if he did or not. So in the end, when your helmet comes off and there isn't a penalty because of it, you got to leave. So that kind of had us all jumbled up.
Bronson was already on the sideline, I think, getting his ankle taped at that point.
I think that's right, too, yeah.
Bob, you come off a huge game against Texas. You've got an enormous game in 2 weeks against Notre Dame.
Got an enormous game this week
Is
with
there
Kansas.
anything that can be said to these players to guard against the letdown against the team that's coming?
Yeah, it's pretty simple. We have to play. No one else does. So we're aware of that, and I think through the years we've had a pretty good record. After Texas, our season doesn't begin and end with Texas. It never has. So in the end, we'll be ready to play. We'll do what we do every week, have the same preparation, and hopefully get ourselves ready to play a good game against Kansas out there.
Could you talk about Kansas offensively with Coach Weiss now?
Yeah, they do a really good job of they get in a lot of different sets. So they'll have your 3 wides with 2 backs. They'll have 4 wide receiver sets. They do a good job blending the run with the pass. Dane Christ is throwing the ball well. But they've got good balance, and I see a lot of good players running around, really. And you look at all their games, I believe, they are right there at the end this past week with Oklahoma State. Every other game that they've lost, right there at halftime, they're right. It's an even game, and they've lost a few, late got out of reach for them, but overall, you see they've been very, very competitive.
With everything going on in conference play, is it pretty evident this won't be decided until the first weekend in December?
Now, I don't look that far. I got to play this week, so you guys I don't get involved in all those conversations. At least I try not to.
Do you guys know what's going on, though, as coaches? I mean, because we have a hard time getting a grasp of who can play defense, who's got a good offense, who doesn't.
Well, we have our opinions, but I'm not going to go stating them.
Well, I mean, but you get a sense from what you've seen so far that guys, you figured guys out pretty well, or you think it's still kind of...
You have a sense. It's you got an idea. I had an idea like last week going in but...
You had an idea...
I'm not much for sharing it.
You had an idea that you'd have over 700 yards offense?
I don't know that I'd have anticipated that. But
Do you have an idea you only needed 2 first downs in the first half?
probably not, but wasn't out of realm. Everything. Who knows? It's always possible. So anyway, good.